There are moments when reality feels thinner. Not gone, not unreal, just, well, less fixed. A dream that lingers after you wake. A knowing that doesn't come from thought. Maybe a sense that something exists just beyond what you can see. Most people dismiss these moments. They move on, they return to logic, and what do you know? They explain it away. Shamanic traditions never did that. They treated those moments as doorways, not into imagination, but into layers of reality. In today's mystical minds, we're exploring the way of the shaman, what it means to journey between worlds, how this awareness shows up in everyday life, and how to begin recognizing the subtle places where your perception already moves beyond the physical. Because you don't begin journeying, journeying by leaving this world. You begin it by noticing there is more than one. And hi, guys. I'd like to welcome you to Mystical Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Sally Thies. I'm the creator of Out of Body Ecstasy with over 40 years of experience as a psychic energy worker and soul connection specialist. Over the years, I've written 8 books, with book number 9, The Constant Cravings of Soulful Connections, Satisfy the Unshakable Power of Soulmates and Twin Flames, scheduled for release here in May 2026. I've been walking the mystical path since childhood, and now I help others reconnect with their true selves through the intuitive reading, soul work, and the safe, sacred space of the Mystical Minds community. This podcast is your invitation to explore the magical, metaphysical, and the wildly mysterious side of life. From energy healing to spirit guides, soulmates to sacred rituals, nothing is off limits here. So grab your tea, light a candle, and let's dive into this mystery together. I think that Soulful Connections will be coming out next Monday, May 11th. That's what it's tentatively telling me right now. But as soon as I have more of an understanding when that exact date is, I will let you guys know. But I am very, very excited for you guys for this finally, this awakening of mine, this journey that I'm still on, is going to be out for people to see and hopefully read and learn from. Don't forget, I also have the subliminals for telepathic, dream, and astral connections. And let's move forward to the card of the week, shall we? I'm using the deck Keepers of the Light Oracle cards. And it doesn't matter if you're listening to this card of the week today or 5 years from now. This card is for you for this week. And the card that I drew is Djwal Khul, Dharma Unfolding. It's all about remembering that you're on a path. Okay? Take one step at a time to happiness. This path we don't need to make great strides this week. We just need to take a step forward, whether it's a teeny tiny baby step or maybe a giant leap of faith. The size of the step is up to you, but every step forward we take in our path is another step forward to happiness. And don't we all want to be happy? And whatever that means to each of us individually, of course we do. All right, so this is the week to take that step forward. Now let's move on to the mystical item of the week. This week, one of my favorite herbs, mugwort. Yeah, love mugwort. It's been used across cultures for centuries to support dreaming, intuitive awareness, and journeying. I have such a problem with that word, journeying. It is known as a plant that enhances perception between worlds. Energetically, mugwort supports dream recall, intuitive sensitivity, altered states of awareness, connection to symbolic language, gentle expansion of perception, and let us not forget telepathic connection, lucid dreaming, and astral travel. This powerful plant ally for beginning shamanic style awareness. You can work with mugwort by placing it near your bed, drinking it as a tea if appropriate to you, and it doesn't have the best taste in the world, not gonna lie. So you might want to, add some honey to it to make it a bit better. Um, You can use it in a ritual or a meditation space. And let's not forget, there's mugwort essential oil out there, mugwort flower essences. So there are different ways you can play with mugwort. And it helps to soften the boundary between conscious awareness and the deeper layers of perception. Now, this month in May, which by the way, my birthday was last weekend and it was wonderful. Still can't believe I'm 59. Is the way of the shaman, journeying between worlds. That's what we're talking about today. Um, the overall, uh, what do I want to say? The overall theme of May is shamanism and plant spirit wisdom. So that's all over in May. Yes. And today we are going to discuss the way of the shaman, journeying between worlds. Now, so what does that mean? Journeying between worlds is a shift in perception. It's not a physical movement, it's an energetic movement. Your physical body stays where it is, and your awareness, your energy, changes how it is receiving information. In shamanic traditions, reality is not seen as one layer. It is experienced as multiple layers existing all at the same time, which is what I believe. The physical world is just one of those layers. Alongside Alongside it, we have layers of symbolic imagery, intuitive knowing, memory and pattern recognition, energetic or emotional fields, and of course, we have all the layers of different dimensions. There are so many different layers, it's mind-boggling. And journeying begins when your focus softens that you can approach another layer. Okay? You're turning inward. Your awareness focuses in on what you're seeing. And you're not analyzing, you're observing. Okay? You may notice that some images can appear without effort, sensations that don't have a clear physical cause, maybe thoughts that feel different than your usual thinking patterns. The key point is you're not physically going someplace. Okay? Your energy is traveling and you are allowing your awareness to access information that it usually filters out. This makes journeying less mysterious and more accessible. It becomes something you can practice every day. So, where does this already show up in your life? Because most people have already experienced this kind of awareness, they simply just don't recognize it. You may have had moments where a dream felt more like an experience or a visit, as I like to say, than a story. You sensed something before it happened, a mental image appeared that felt rather meaningful. You just knew something without reasoning. These are natural shifts in awareness. Thank you, energy. They often happen when your mind is relaxed and your energy is allowed to roam before sleep, during quiet moments, when you're not actively trying to figure something out. The reason these moments feel a bit different is because your brain is not filtering your experiences aggressively. Information that is usually just dismissed as not logical becomes noticeable. The practical takeaway on this is you do not need to learn how to access this. You need to learn how to recognize when it's already happening. Recognition is the first level of skill. So, the difference between imagination and perception. And a lot of people can get stuck around here. They assume that anything they see internally must be their imagination. There's more of a useful way to understand it. Imagination is the language, perception is the source. When awareness expands, the brain translates information into images, sensations, or symbols. The translation process feels like imagination. The difference is in how it arrives. Imagination that you are controlling feels like you're putting a hell of a lot of effort into it, okay? Because you're directing it. Perception arrives on its own. It has a quality of showing up unexpectedly, like when I heard Will's voice and I was in the bathroom brushing my cheek, saying that he found me. That was unexpected as all get out. Um, it continues without you forcing it or trying to direct it. It continues with details that you are not trying to create. The practice is not to separate them completely. It is to observe without interference. When you stop trying to control the experience, patterns can become clear. So, why is grounding non negotiable here? The more your awareness expands and your energy, of course, travels, the more important grounding becomes. Because without grounding, perception can feel overwhelming or disorienting. Grounding keeps your system stable while your awareness shifts. It allows you to move between states without losing your sense of self. Simple grounding practices include feeling your feet on the floor, placing a hand on your body, maybe over your heart so you can feel the heartbeat, focusing on your breath, maybe naming objects in the room. They're not small things, these are stabilizers. And shamanic traditions always included grounding because expansion without stability creates imbalance. The goal is not to stay expanded all the time. The goal is to move in and out of awareness with control. So, how do you begin with this practically? You really don't need a complex ritual to begin. Although many traditions do love a complex ritual, it's not always needed, especially when you start out. But what you need is a repeatable structure, like choosing a quiet time, maybe sitting comfortably with your eyes closed. You could take a few small breaths, let your attention soften, and notice what arises without directing it. You know, set a gentle time to start with, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And this keeps the practice grounded. Afterward, you can open your eyes slowly and write down anything you might have noticed: images, sensations, emotions, impressions. No need to interpret immediately, but over time, you're going to notice patterns. You're going to know what pops up. Okay. The goal is not, we don't want intensity. It's being, getting, and me being able to talk, it is about being familiar with this whole process, okay? The more familiar you become with how your awareness shifts as your energy travels, the more stable the experience becomes. And your soul work for the week is awareness without control. This week's soul work is about observation, as I mentioned earlier. Once per day, take 5 minutes just to sit in stillness. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what do I notice when I stop directing my thoughts? And then just observe images, sensations, emotions, subtle impressions. Don't interpret it. Don't try to control it. Just notice. Write them all down. And at the end of the week, reflect: did I notice any patterns that showed up? What felt consistent? What out of all this surprised me? This builds the foundation for a deeper journey. Okay. And when I talk here on Mystical Minds, all I'm giving you is the start of something. This is always meant to pique your curiosity and to drive you deeper into research and doing this work for yourself. The way of a shaman is not about leaving reality. It's about expanding your energy and your awareness of it. There is more happening in the energetic worlds than what is immediately visible, and you already sense it. This month in Mystical Minds, we will explore how to work with that awareness safely, practically, and with some clarity. Next week, we'll move into plant spirit communication and how plants can act as guides, teachers, and energetic allies. Boy, can you tell the difference when I do this podcast later in the afternoon than when I do it in the morning? Goodness gracious alive. That's a wrap on this episode of Mystical Minds. I hope it sparks something inside of you, a memory, a knowing, maybe a nudge from your soul. And don't forget your soul work for the week. It's under resources for the episode. If you loved what we explored today, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with someone who needs a little magic in their life. And if you're craving more, join me on the Mystical Minds group. It's a safe, sacred space to explore everything from energy work to soul connections, intuition, spirit guides, and more. You'll find support, community, and your peeps. You can also book a private reading, energy work, or soul session with me at any time at outofbodyecstasy.com. I've got you whether you're seeking clarity, healing, or a deeper connection to your soul's path. And until next time, guys, stay grounded, stay curious, and remember, endless possibilities, infinite you.